Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV Edition. I am Peter, that is Tim, and we are working our way through Tales from the Crypt, the original horror anthology show from HBO. Tim's trying his best to throw me off. This is going to be season 4, episode... oh my god, 6 I think. The 6, yes, episode 6. It's called What's Cookin'? There'll be spoilers for the episode, of course, as always, so watch out for that. So here we are. I think first things first, this has a bit of a cast. There's like a good set of people here that I know from a lot of things. But first of all, Christopher Reeve, first of all, so Superman's in it. That's a big deal. The police officer in the episode, Art LaFleur, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Like I think the first thing I think of is The Sandlot.
Oh, okay.
But he's one of those character actors who pops up all over the place. Like I just know his face from a bunch of
he
things.
looked familiar. I couldn't really specifically say where he's from, but it's definitely someone I recognized.
Yeah, and then you get Gaston, who is played by Judd Nelson of Breakfast Club fame.
Yeah, what I didn't get is in the credits it said, I think, like special guest appearance by Judd Nelson, but he's like full on like a major character in this.
Maybe that was just like a contractual obligation. Like he wants a special credit.
Maybe.
I don't know why Judd Nelson's more in demand. I mean, admittedly, it was the early 90s. But again, even then, it had been like a good, 8 years since Breakfast Club. Yeah. Like, what, was he really in that high demand at this time? I don't know.
I just thought it was weird.
Now, on top of all that, you got Meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
Which I didn't actually recognise him right away. I was like, he looks familiar. And it wasn't until I looked at the credits, like, oh, Meatloaf's in it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what Meatloaf is. So, what is this about? It's about a couple, played by Christopher Reeve and Bess Armstrong, Fred and Irma. They own a restaurant, and he has this wacky idea that he wants to do nothing but squid. And he compares it to KFC. He's like, well, they told Colonel Sanders that they were at the restaurant, it was just chicken, was a stupid idea. But it's nothing but squid. But everyone who comes in, even the cop who comes in and is friendly with him, is like, no, I don't want any food, I don't like squid, just give me the coffee.
Which is, why does he come in?
Because he's friendly, because they're always open to give him coffee when he starts his shift. I don't know, something like that. So, and right away it paints you the characters a little bit, because like he's all about being a perfectionist. Like he's telling his wife all these things, not in a sort of harsh way, but she's jokingly goes to like kill him with a blade. And I don't know what this episode's about. I'm like, is this going to be about her wanting to kill her husband? I'm not sure, but and he's like, no, don't ruin the blade. It's rare. Don't make them anymore. It's expensive. Don't do that. But basically, they've got this guy working for him, played by Judd Nelson, Gaston. He's sweeping the floors, and he's like, hey, and obviously business is slow, no one's coming in. He's like, hey, I'm pretty good at barbecue. We could do something like that. It's like, any idiot could do barbecue. So business is slow, and we find out later, Meatloaf, who's the landlord for the place, comes over, and he's like, I want my rent, and he's not got his rent. It gets a little bit heated, nothing really happens, but Gaston's across the street. He's like watching intently, with nefarious means behind his eyes. I think you can tell, and basically he ends up killing the landlord himself, Gaston that is, and the next morning, like they come in, they've had more money troubles. That they've been home. I've seen them at home at their apartment, where they're like not arguing, but they're debating about money and how, let's max out another credit card so we can maybe expand to pork, is his grand idea, which she's not very happy about. And basically Gaston is like, I've got some steaks, I brought them in, we can serve. And like the cop comes in and he's like, yeah, give me a steak and eggs. And of course I'm like, this is human meat, right? We're going a cannibal route here.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, even in the beginning, they refer to Gaston as a drifter. So you kind of get the sense early on that either they're going to kill him or he's going to kill someone. But basically, human meat is getting served at this place.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll admit the episode made me hungry because there was a lot of steak frying on the grill.
Yeah, the squid I wasn't too pleased to see, but then once I get to that steak, that started looking good.
Yeah, steak. Do you know what the funny thing is? I hate eggs, right? Which is weird to a lot of people. I don't like eggs.
I mean, I like them, but I can see why someone wouldn't like them.
I have to admit, though, they look good when they're cooking. I'll give you that. There's something about cracking the egg open and seeing it sort of, form its shape.
Yeah.
As it sizzles is kind of, even though I hate eggs and I would never eat it, but, it adds to the whole thing. But it's making steak, and of course, Fred ends up going back into the freezer with Gaston, and sure enough, the landlord's hanging there, and he's ripping out bits of meat for steak.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's the good part of the body to take the steak from. I don't know. I really would have to think about it some more. Maybe look into the anatomy and see, okay, where's the best meat on the human body? I'm not really sure. But everyone loves it. The restaurant packs out. If anything, I have to criticise how quickly this restaurant seems to like get full that one morning. As soon as they've started serving steak, it's almost like people just know. They just know outside. They're like, "There's steak."
Yeah,
I can smell steak in the air.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. Like, why? Like, even if people were starting to get it's called like, isn't there squid or something in the name, or is it like all squid cafe? Like, I don't think people would start just wondering. And
they changed it. Like when once they said, okay, we're going to keep doing this. Mm-hmm. And Gaston's like, I want to be a partner, so it ended up being like Gaston, Fred, and Irma's steakhouse or whatever it was. But yeah, originally it was like, I don't know, squid.
Yeah.
Something. I know this, but yeah, squid something. But sure enough, they start funneling in. But then Gaston ends up having a more sort of like, because the cop's talking about how the landlords went missing and he's looking into it and all the rest of it. And eventually Gaston wants to try and like frame Fred for the murder and Irma, and he tries to set them up. But it all ends in a sort of dark kind of comic moment where the cop doesn't actually care. He comes in and he's like, oh, no, I've developed a taste. So they all agree that they're going to keep, like, he's going to be the new partner. The cop's going to work with Fred and Irma. He's going to get his name on the restaurant, and they're going to continue to serve human meat because now the cop has a taste for it, and that's the ending. It's actually quite a fun ending because not only does the one who's more evil get his comeuppance, all the other characters who are also kind of being evil but more likable get away with it, and they seem like they're going to be just doing what they want now from on. So I guess I'll ask the question. Tim, what did you think of What's Cookin'?
It's okay. I think there's not a ton of story here, but it's definitely elevated by the actors. Like, it was really great to see, Christopher Reeves in something again. He's very charming and likable, and they just have a good, like, repartee together.
I thought,
like in the beginning, like, when she goes to cleave his head and he's just kind of like, no, honey, like, it was just like a very nice, cute moment and really endears you to the characters. And I actually really like the opening because it, like, the whole idea of the Squid Cafe is so goofy, and I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. Like, you usually don't see this type of goofy, in the, Tales from the Crypt universe. Like, there's cheesy, funny stuff before, but it's usually a lot sleazier.
Yeah. I agree. The actor. I mean, I enjoyed the episode actually. I think the actors have a lot to do with it because it is such a good cast, and there's not a single one of them that I didn't like and didn't like how they sort of handled the performance. It was a very sort of comforting episode, as strange as that sounds, given that it's about people being cut up and eaten. But it's also made me hungry because steak looks good, even because I mean obviously the actual meat was not human. Like when they were filming it, that was just more cow, and cow's okay to eat. Come at me, veggies. Come at me. Don't come at me. I don't want to listen to it. It's fine. But it's just I think it's funny you say there's not a lot of plot. I actually think maybe plot's not the right word, but I feel like there's a lot more characters than usual.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because as I was watching, I was like, okay, we had the landlord who's now dead, and we've got this cop character who keeps going. I feel like most Tales from the Crypt episodes have 2 or 3 main characters. Whereas here there was like 5 of them, which is fine, it's not a big deal, but I felt like there was more going on than normal in terms of, like, because sometimes Tales from the Crypt episodes, you often find that it'll be the same 2 characters who keep interacting, or it'll all be set in one night kind of thing, whereas this felt like there was a wee bit more going on in that sense. So
maybe it's more that the plot's just kind of simple, like it's like you definitely. It's not like I knew 100% exactly what was going to happen, but you do definitely know pretty early on. Like, all right, come on, this is going to be about people cooking and eating people, and
oh yeah, I got that. What I didn't get though is I never really got how it was going to end. I kind of was assuming that Gaston was going to try and make Fred look guilty, but the cop would somehow figure it out, and Gaston would get his comeuppance. I didn't actually predict the sort of wonderfully kind of dark humour of the ending, which was they're going to keep doing this and they're going to cook Gaston.
Yeah.
I never jumped to that conclusion, but it made for a fun ending, and I did like the Crypt Keeper's, which by the way, the Crypt Keeper's stuff was relevant. Like he's actually doing, he was doing chef related humor, which was nice because I feel like he's been doing a lot recently that were unrelated to the plot of the episode.
He killed famous '90s chef Wolfgang Puck.
Aye, old Wolfgang, know him well. Because what was the joke he had at the end that really cracked me up? It was something about flesh in the pan. That was the line that cracked me up. Flesh in the pan. That's a good line. So it's fun. Some fun stuff there at the end.
And it was a nice little touch. The ending scene too, when basically they're killing Gaston, and it starts panning out, and then you just see his name on the side, and it kind of flickers and goes out. A nice little scene.
The other two names stay on. Yeah, like Fred and Irma's names stay on. Yeah. No, it was a nice little touch. I think this was kind of a delightful episode. If I'm going to sort of sum it up into a word, like it was a really easy to watch. I think it doesn't. I don't think it does anything really impressive. Like I don't think you look back in this one and go, "Oh, geez, remember that one where they did all this stuff."
Yeah, it's not gonna make any like top 10 lists or anything. But it's definitely a fun and enjoyable episode.
Yeah. It's funny because I think last week I said I really hope they break this cycle of just okay episodes, but at least I do think we're kind of gradually going uphill. Because I like this one more than the last couple. Like I feel like we're kind of gradually going up a shallow hill.
This one, it's on the higher end of okay.
Sure. I'll nudge it above that. I'll say it's just it's above okay.
Okay.
It's not great by any means, but it's above okay, and a lot of that is to do with the cast because Judd Nelson's suitably kind of creepy, and he's got that stare that he keeps looking. It looks like he's looking into your soul. Christopher Reeve's doing. I was actually one of the funny things about watching this is because Christopher Reeve, of course, is so unanimous with Superman, like unanimous. That's the wrong word. Ubiquitous with Superman, and like. It was almost like a little bit uneasy at the start. I was like, is he going to be an evil guy? I don't really want to see Christopher Reeve be evil. That feels wrong. And but the funny thing is there's that one moment where he like sort of comes after the landlord when he gets angry, and he accidentally cuts him, and he backs away immediately and goes into Clark Kent mode. Where he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, like oh man. Not to say that he could never have played something that wasn't Superman. Of course he could, but because he never really did, though, at least that I ever seen. Like he wasn't, he's in a few movies, sure, but I never seen him in much outside of Superman. So
yeah, and it's a good role for him. Like he really does embody that kind of. I don't know where this takes place, but you kind of imagine a small Midwest, town somewhere.
Yeah, well, even the whole idea it's that kind of naive, like I have a dream, even though everyone else thinks it's silly. He's going to try and achieve it anyway. So he's likable from the get-go because of that.
And I really liked his scenes where it was almost like sitcom-y when, he's trying to like hide the stuff from Irma. I almost wish we got maybe a little more of that, but there's some scenes where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go pack up the steaks in the freezer." And he's like, "No, well, I'll do it." Like, it might have been kind of funny, if there's more stuff like that.
Yeah, because then there's one point where he has to like quickly shut the freezer door before she gets in and sees the body hanging and all that. Honestly, if there's a complaint to make, it's almost like they do all that, but then once like well, not quite the twist, but the reveal that she understood because Gaston's like in his whole little sort of made up story, he's like, oh, he's going to kill himself, he's taking your gun. She knows it's empty, and then she calls him. But when she gets to the restaurant at the end, it does almost feel kind of this weird anticlimactic thing where she kind of already just seems to know that what's going on. Like there's no reaction, there's no big, oh my god, people are dying and killing, and eating them and whatnot.
Yeah.
She seems just kind of okay with it, and there's never really like a moment where she finds out, I guess.
Yeah, and same thing with like the cop too. Like you got to imagine he, when he comes in, he probably is just learning about this relatively, not too long ago, and it doesn't seem like anyone really needs time to process the fact. Like they just go along with it.
Yeah, odd, very odd. But no, that's what's cooking. So let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and you can do that over there. But otherwise, guys, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching scary TV, and we will see you next time.